What is happening, everybody? trueeevil here, and today I want to talk about what the most optimal things to farm to get ready for endgame are. Now, this is going to be really important because once you finish leveling up your characters, as well as finish leveling up your weapons and upgrading your persona abilities, you might not know what to use your stamina on, and you might do things like try to farm revelation cards, which I don't think is worth it yet until we can farm the yellow ones. So let's look at what we really need to be farming by looking at the in-game content after we finish the story. Now, the content you're going to want to look at to determine how you want to level your characters up is going to be the Velvet Trials. And the reason for this is because not only do you unlock premium currency for doing this, which is going to guarantee you getting that character you want, but also it's going to unlock upgrades that are just generally going to make Wonder an absolute menace. So we really need to figure out what we need to do to make sure that we can get as much upgrades as possible. So once harder in-game content comes out, we'll be able to conquer it. And what I really encourage you to look at is what you need to do to 3-star, because it's actually different between Technician and these other modes. In these modes, specifically that aren't Technician, the most important factor is that non-Wonder allies deal weakness in all out attacks. The biggest thing about this is, well, Wonder can't be your main DPS, because if he is clearing the content, then, well, you're not going to unlock this, and that means that you're not going to 3-star it. So I would really recommend leveling Wonder up as a support unit when you start tackling these. And the other important part of these is all the enemies are weak to the same things. So when you're building a party for this, you're going to want to prioritize these elements on your team and using Wonder as a support. And it stays like this for the entire time. Now, it will split up, so you can't just go full on fire team. You're going to have to mix and match. And I believe this is pretty easy to do, but make sure you don't just level all fire teams. I like leveling Tomoko for this, and I really encourage you to use her if you're trying to tackle this mode. A lot of people are saying to avoid her, and I just don't see it because she is making me do absolutely crazy amounts of damage. The difference between using her with Panther versus not using her with Panther is that, well, my Panther does like 5,000 damage on every hit versus, say, 2,800 or something like that. I don't know how the multipliers work, but it's actually crazy amounts. So I really encourage you to level Tomoko up. Now, I will say that you probably should pick 2 of these non-technician modes just because you're going to need to build specific units. So for example, here on this whole area, they're weak to wind and curse, so I want to level up Yao Ling and Shiratori and Joker and those characters, and maybe Mona if you pulled Cat Bro. So really figure out who you have and prioritize 2, just because once you hit that Wonder level 50, the resources will start to feel a little scarce. Now that we've covered those modes, the next important mode is Technician. And actually, in this mode, we are going to be able to use Wonder as a DPS. And more importantly, he is going to be an absolutely essential DPS for these modes, because the enemies are going to start having multiple types of weaknesses, and some of these can't be cleared with the characters currently released in the gacha. And what I mean by that is, let me find some. I believe, yeah, so here there's nuclear that we need to be doing, and there is no nuclear multi-hit right now in the game. Now, we do have Leo, but Leo is just not going to be a strong enough character to be used as like a multi-hit DPS. We are going to have to rely on Wonder for that. So in that regard, once you start hitting Technician mode, we are going to want to build a DPS Wonder, really get a whole lot of different weaknesses versus the other modes where we want that specific weakness. And because of that, the most important thing to farm with your stamina is going to be personas, which at the beginning, I'm going to show you how I'm going to be doing it. Now, the reason why farming the personas is going to be extremely important is because not only are you going to be able to unlock a large roster of different skills that you can teach your main personas so that Wonder can be the DPS he needs to be in Technician mode and have the support abilities for the other modes, but the not registered ones, once you beat them, are going to make it so that you can get schema points for your Wonder and level up his stats and make him an absolute menace, because Wonder is going to need both attack capabilities to farm Technician, as well as he's going to need defensive perks for the other modes. And not only does he need to be defensive in the other modes, but because you're sort of on a time limit in those, you're also going to make sure you have him with some sort of attack as well, so that you're able to clear the content fast enough. So you can't just make Wonder a support unit, you can't make Wonder just a DPS unit, you have to build him everything. So we are going to be farming all these not registered personas first and really make sure we have enough points to really build Wonder up. So we're going to do a mode here now and really get that juice. Now, I really recommend to only roll one time on all these persona battles because we want to get the wide variety to really build up the encyclopedia of personas so we can get the most upgrade points possible. So do the one spin, unlock the persona, be good to go, and really start to farm. And now we're going to go over to the points, see how much we have, and level up Wonder there. Now, the priority on what to level is going to just be, well, everything if I'm being honest, but I would say to just start off with the flats, not because they're the best things to level, but because they're going to be the cheapest to level. So it's going to make Wonder really strong really quickly, but it's not going to be as insane as the other ones. But as you can see, these take 200 versus some of the cheaper ones, which are 80, and I believe these are 50. So you're going to be able to upgrade this much quicker than the stronger ones, but you can do it way more. Now, after you do this, I would actually recommend to upgrade his offensive capabilities first and then go over here to HP. And what you really want to do after HP is that I wouldn't recommend leveling up ailment accuracy or HP recovery. What you really want out of these trees is after you get the flat scaling off attack, defense, HP, and the attack stats, you're going to want to go over to here because not only are you going to get that defense, but the best thing is going to be the ailment resist. And the reason why ailment resist is going to be important is because when Wonder is the main DPS and Technician, you're going to want him to be absolutely attacking and applying weakness as much as possible, as well as he's going to probably be your main support and only support in the other modes, and you just don't want him to get sort of paralyzed or just have anything bad happen to him. You want to make sure that he is just always on the go. So definitely recommend doing the flats first, then doing damage, then going over here and getting ailment resist, and then coming back here for HP. And then once you've finished upgrading all of that, then you can start going for ailment accuracy and HP recovery. But I would say these are the last two you want to upgrade. Upgrade this tree before for sure, and also upgrade this just a little bit if you're feeling like you need a little bit more HP to play with. So this is what I would really recommend everyone focus on after you level everyone up, mainly because you may want to stockpile on resources for when you do hit Wonder level 50, so you can upgrade your characters immediately to level 60. And what I'm doing personally is because there's the extra drops going on right now, I'm going to do those 6 per day and get, a little bit of that. But once we unlock that next threshold of level up materials, that is when I'm going to start going really ham on those level up materials again. And then we're going to go back to farming personas. I think this is going to just be the best way right now until we can really farm those gold revelation cards. So that's all for today. Hope everyone's farming goes well and that you're enjoying the story. I have pretty much finished all of the content and I really enjoyed it all. Let me know how you're feeling about that, as well as if there's anything you would like me to do as a guide. So see you guys next time.